guys, it's Jenny. How is everybody doing? I had your video ready to go, ready to upload this morning, and I just wasn't feeling it. It just, I don't know. There wasn't anything wrong with it per se. It just, I don't know. I thought of other things last night to talk about. I opened my eyes this morning and I was facing my window, and two giant, I don't know what they were. They were definitely not hawks, not crows. They were too big to be crows, but they took off like basically right in front of my window, almost like coming into my window. And that's a huge sign for me. The two birds is my sign. So that was pretty cool to wake up to, and I just thought, yeah, I'm gonna make the video again. So I wanted to mention, just because we're in the season of Pisces for what, 11 more days now. If you haven't seen my Octopus Teacher, what a fabulous documentary on Netflix. For those of you who feel close to the animals, to nature, I hope you don't mind the camera is moving a little bit. It's just a breeze. But anyway, that is a phenomenal documentary. It just shows you how people can come to the knowledge that we're all one without, Metatron or the angels or actively, talking about God per se, but the God spark that runs through everything and how we are all so linked together. It's an incredible documentary on Netflix. So I wanted to mention that. Also, Metatron just asked me to make a note to let you guys know that if you're having trouble with your eyes, I've been having a lot of trouble with my eyes since this whole thing began, since the pandemic began. And I saw someone I never watched that show, I just happened to turn it on that day, and she was saying that her ophthalmologist recommended that she wash with No More Tears shampoo. He said that he's had a lot of cases, like a huge surge and trouble with eyes, and he thinks that it's because of the mask. We're like breathing kind of more into our eyes than usual. So I thought I would pass that along because I know it was helpful for me. So we're coming up to this fabulous new moon in Pisces. We are in the middle of a timeline change right now, coming up to the Equinox gateway. And with the full moon that we had in Virgo, I mentioned Admetos was with the sun. Admetos can mean death, and Admetos is with Nessus, which is about wrapping up a karmic cycle and abuse. And so Admetos and Nessus are together in Pisces. I think that could be some link to water. And I've mentioned that before. I know the last time they brought up water, I think it was Sandalphon was talking about that. Then it came out that something had gone on in Russia. Of course, we don't know what that was exactly, but I'm sure they made very little of something that was probably much more serious. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. A lot of this, the heavy Piscean energy, just because Neptune is coming into the third decan of Pisces now. He's been kind of teetering at that 20 degrees, going back and forth. Now he's, I think, completely finished with the second decan and will stay in the third. And so a lot of the astrology is linked with earth events, but water as well. And I'm telling you that those craters that they're finding beneath the earth, exploding, the methane gas pockets under the Arctic and in Siberia, it would be good for us to pay attention to that story. So just want to mention that. And with that full moon in Virgo, we lost two. This is why I didn't make the video last week, because I keep starting to cry. But we lost two family friends during that full moon. I don't want to cry through the whole video, so that's why it didn't come last week. I was very close to one of them. I knew both of them very well. They weren't in our lives every day, but they were special to us. One was a 21-year-old girl who suffered addiction, and it was literally a week to the day before that my kids, I was listening to them talk about that she would probably die because she was in such bad shape, and she did pass over. That full moon was actually on her moon. And so I'm glad that she has found some peace, although just, you know, what a waste, what a waste. She was just a beautiful, bright girl, and she was really close with Metatron. She did some sessions with me. She just could not kick that addiction. And this isn't going to be a sad video, I promise. But I'm working up to talk about my friend Rich. So many of you I know, because one of you actually sent a video to Rich's wife of me last week, so that was kind of funny. I was on the phone with Stacy, and she was like, oh, somebody just sent me your video. It was like right before he passed. But a very, very close friend of mine, someone who was a teacher, mentor for me, my friend Stacy and her husband Rich, they literally, and I didn't even know this until he passed, that when I had a divine timing come in 2016, they pretty much put their lives on hold to be with me, to hold my hand through that. And you know, just I did like a boot camp, months and months of classes and healings, and I was lucky enough to have them spend time living with me. Rich would have been 53 years old this month, and he didn't, as far as we know, there was no warning whatsoever about this, and you know, just one night became short of breath and did not catch his breath again. But I wanted to talk about this because a lot of you have lately been asking me questions about heaven, and what happens when we pass, and the way that we understand things now more through the lens of quantum physics rather than the Bible. You know, how does it all work? And so he was showing me some things after he passed, like that first couple of days it was literally like he was sitting right next to me. And it was funny because I've never lost anybody since I started speaking with people who have passed, I mean, at least consciously. So it was just, you know, interesting, that dynamic of, you know, feeling happy, and he was making me laugh. And then, you know, I would think of his wife, his widow, or his mother, who I also just adore. She's a spiritual mother to me, and the women that he surrounded himself with, what fierce, dynamic women. You know, he married a Scorpio with a Capricorn rising. His mother was a Capricorn with a Leo rising. His daughter is very fierce as well. All of them intuitive healers and just incredible women. Rich dedicated his life he was versed in over 30 healing modalities. And, you know, he's taught people. I'm one of thousands of people he's taught all over the world, in South America and Europe and Asia and, you know, North America and Latin America. And just what a life force he was, and what he has been wanting me to share with all of you is he's saying the sensation of relief, just overall relief that comes instantaneously, faster, he's saying, than instantaneously when we pass. That there's no more, you know, worrying or got to do this or got to do that, and it's just love. And, you know, we can get distracted with silly things that go on in the illusion, and we can take our focus off of that and be, you know, into all the woo-woo, silly things that we have disagreements about. And, you know, really, if we can just focus on being in that space of love. And he was showing me that, like, when we are traveling, when we're, you know, in our sleep, and we visit different timelines and different places, that we are, in a way, our consciousness is, well, he's using the word conformed, like it's not allowed to just, you know, go anywhere that we'd like. But when after he passed, he was showing me how he could just expand himself. He was showing me in lights, and he could literally go into all that is and be inside of every single thing throughout the cosmos. He was saying that he could witness history and time and space in, like, just not even a snap, that he could be all those things and consciousness. And that the, you know, the gift in his passing was that now he can be with all of us that he loves at the same time. He would sit on my patio, and he was an Aries, by the way. And yeah, he was a fireball, and he would open his arms as big as and he would say, "Creator, send love to all that is." And then he would pull it back in to himself so that he could feel it. And he just was, you know, you wouldn't want anyone else as a cheerleader. If you had him making you feel good about yourself and encouraging you, you felt like you could just take on the world. And I wanted to share with you guys that because of the nature of their work, they're sort of nomadic. They were centralized there in Montana, but they, you know, travel here and there. And even just the night that he passed, actually, they were planning their next few months of teaching and classes coming up. And so because Stacy has the expense of the services in Montana and in Chicago, and all of us would like it if she was able to take time off to recover. They were together for 12 years and 24/7, and worked together, lived together. Another thing about him was that he was so masculine. He was obviously in his masculine energy, but he was so nurturing with Stacy. He made sure that she ate on time, and that she did take time for herself. She works a lot, and so he watched over her in that way. And Stacy really has just this past about 5 years, I mean, just had really so much to deal with health-wise for herself, and then with extended family situation and circumstances. And so I would just ask for all of you, if you could please send love from the Creator to Stacy, to Jean, to Jamie. Jean, now his mother goes by Asana, I forget that, but Asana and Rich ran a healing circle together for decades, and he was just such an amazing man, and so giving and kind. I would like to be able to give back a bit, and so I'm going to leave a link for the GoFundMe page that I started for Stacy to help her cover all of these extra expenses that she'll have now. They were actually in the middle of buying a property, so there's a lot going on for her and everything up in the air. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. But let's talk about you know, heaven. It's just like I described to you in that where I was in the hospital room watching my ancestor pass over. I was there energetically in my energy body. I didn't know what I was seeing. I mean, it's actually hot. It's actually like I'm schwitzy. We're having our spring of deception, and it's like 63 Fahrenheit today. It's amazing. And I'm in my, you know, winter boots because there's still snow and mud everywhere. And so I have to have more clothes on than I need today. But anyway, yeah, you know, they're always right there. They really and truly are. And we can turn it off, the feeling, being able to feel them, because sometimes it is painful for us to have that feeling. But if you ever do sit in a quiet, you know, turn the light off, light a candle, or you don't have to have the lights off, but, you know, just in a dimly lit room with a candle, and you ask to be able to feel the vibration of your loved one. I know so many of you have lost multiple people during this period. A lot of you, nothing to do with the pandemic, have lost loved ones. And so if you do just sit that and ask that they come into your presence, you will be able to feel them. You really don't need to do any fancy tricks. You're that powerful. And so if you just allow your heart to be open and to feel that, I do that a lot with people on the phone that have passed when I'm talking to clients. So, yeah, and, you know, so heaven, there is like a plane where we go, where we can't always see the ancestors, and, yeah, I don't really think there is a designated heaven, per se, but, you know, there's just so many realms and places, and, when we pass over, we're, you know, close to the earth plane for 2-3 days. We're very close to the earth plane. And I mean, oh, I don't know how to explain this. Before we have our like debriefing, when we are kind of releasing like attachments to it, and then, you know, they're just as close to the earth, but in a different vibration, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. It's really not easy to describe these things. But let's talk about the new moon. And I wanted to talk about that because Pisces is linked with heaven and becoming one with all that is. And the God spark of pure unconditional love that runs through every quark of every molecule of all that is. That is what makes us remember that we are the same, that there is no separation. And, you know, the highest manifestation of Pisces is because Pisces rules the feet. So it's standing on the floor of the ocean, holding up your trident. And the waves can crash into you, the storms can come, but you are firmly planted and nothing is going to move you. You know your truth. You know that you are a part of the creator of all that is, that the creator abides within you, and you abide within her, and yeah, nothing can shake that. So it's the foundation of our faith, right? They were playing Faith for me when I was walking over here too. So I wish you guys could see my camera is hanging on a tree that's been, I don't know, it looks like it fell over. And Gabriel wanted me to share this with you. I hope you can see that. Yeah, you can. It's like the green, we call it seafoam green in these parts. I know everybody has different terms for the color, but it's that green blue. This was a gift to me, Martha. Maybe you could leave in the comments what stone this is. It's beautiful. But this will be the color that we're surrounding ourselves in. It actually is perfect for Aquarian Pisces energy because we still have obviously Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. But I want to talk to you about this full moon. It's going to take place for everybody on the 13th of March, and it's going to be 4:21 a.m. in, and I don't have it written down, but that doesn't seem right to me for some reason now. 4:21 a.m. in the UK, and 10:21 Central Standard Time, and then 9:21 in Sydney on the 13th p.m. for Sydney. And yeah, we just have a fabulous lineup happening in Pisces, and this is a new moon. So yes, Pisces is a sign of emotion. I don't really think that this is going to be so emotional. I mean, for everybody, you know, it's a little different depending on what's going on in your chart, how this is affecting your personal natal chart. But there's a lot of water, but I don't, you know, like Pisces is like infinite possibilities, inspiration, growth, and potential of growth that we can't really comprehend. And you know, it's the sign of spirit too. So I think that a lot of astrologers miss the karmic You know, they focus a lot on Saturn. Neptune is very karmic too in our charts. That can be where there's a lesson that we need to keep going over until we get it. Where Neptune falls in your chart, depending on what he's doing in your chart. But this is happening at 20 in a few minutes, so almost 21 degrees of Pisces. I'm gonna read, wait, am I gonna read that? Okay. The 21st degree then of Pisces, we're gonna go with the Omega symbol. And I'm sorry, you guys, actually Neptune is at 20 degrees and change, but the Sun and Moon are at 22 and change of Pisces. So anything you've got, say, well, because Neptune's involved, I'd give a huge berth for that. I mean, you could feel this at 18, coming up to 2-3, let's say. So this is the Omega, no, sorry, this is the Chandra symbol for Pisces 21. And it says, pagan fire worshippers dancing at night. This degree brings light into darkness and encourages others to join in the process of doing so. It is not about to fall prey to fear, depression, or the confusion of uncertainty. Its attitude is light a fire, make a dance, call the clan. Even in tragedies and dark dramas, it finds something to celebrate, for it knows that inevitably the light will conquer. It also knows that both dark and light follow complex cycles, that both live and die and are born again. And so even in grim and harsh times, it is expectant of sparks which will kindle into new flames, providing new excuses for celebration. And, you know, when we've got a lot happening in the astrology and this whole year, that Uranus, Saturn, and so it's square, and it can be that we're feeling like, you know, high, low, high, low, high, low, depending on what's going on, because that is the energy of a shift. There's really not another way to put that. That's something falling and something else being built. Something that we've probably been used to for a very long time. Institutions that we have been used to being run a certain way for very long times. Maybe revelations coming up about those. But in our own personal lives, you know, as within, so without, as above, so below. Something is changing for us, and it's concerning value. What it is that we really think of ourselves. You know, and Gabriel was really talking a lot, again, about listening for inner guidance and that inner voice. And that the soul, he's saying your soul is always leading you to love and light. There's not criticism coming from your soul, only love and adoration, almost that you give like a young child, right? That adoring look that the parent or the grandparent gives the grandchild. And when you look at this astrology, I don't know if you can see these little green lines all going on at the top. There's four of them. And those have the energy, that's a semi-sextile, and that has the energy of flicking like a ping pong ball. Like when you just take your finger and flick the ping pong ball. That's spurring something into action. So the first guy up on that aspect is Jupiter. Gifts, blessings, freedom, you know, not adhering to what everybody else wants to do, doing what is best for you, finding freedom in that. Not that it means that we're selfish, but so many times we go along to get along, and there is no freedom in that, you know, and voicing what it is that we would like to say, that Neptune then is between, well, Mercury falls between Jupiter and Neptune, and Mercury is with Pallas Athena, who is the goddess of wisdom. She's the warrior goddess. She's very strategic. She's very focused. So keeping our minds focused on the prize, but also Mercury in Pisces and the North Node in Gemini, going with the flow. just like if things all come down, just realizing that you're still going to go on. And things may have to change. Plans will have to be adjusted. But there's a way to make it happen, and it'll be a way that is much more beneficial for all that is, everyone concerned with the situation. Even if it is something like a marriage or a family, you know, learning how to live in a different way. Venus is with Neptune and the sun and the moon. She's exalted in Pisces. There's a lot of true love, romance going on with this gateway, and this will play out for a longer period than, you know, say until we come to the solstice. They don't really work like that, and it's going to affect each chart differently, you know, how it plays out. But if you are in a couple, if you're coupled, this is a very sweet romantic energy, so plan something special for that weekend if you can. I know a lot of you are, you know, at least in Melbourne, you know, footloose and fancy free. We're pretty open here, but other people are closing again. So if there's anything you can do to make it special, it's spicy, this energy. So the Uranus aspecting, he's between Mars and then Ceres and Chiron, who are joined together in Aries, ruled by that Mars. So this would be telling yourself a new story about how wonderful you are, how beautiful you are, seeing the beauty in yourself, changing the conversation so that your perception of things is always from the highest point. That doesn't mean that we don't encounter any sufferings whatsoever. It's just the way that we come at it, our attitude about it, seeing it differently. The devil energy in that Pluto at the last degrees in Capricorn hitting that midpoint of Neptune and Venus. This would be like releasing anything that has power or control over you, a relationship, a boss, a habit, and then renewing the thinking, like I said, telling yourself a new story. And he's showing me now, Gabriel is showing me the way, you know, just to envision it happening. And he's saying like anything that you do for ceremony or for ritual with a new moon is appropriate. You can't get it wrong. Whatever he's saying that you find soothing for your soul. I'm out here by the waterfalls. I had to move so far. They're very loud. So, but I hope you guys can see the water. But if you can just imagine yourself on a body of water, you know, or he's saying, or a lazy river, encouraging us to relax, just floating along, and then just see yourself with all of the things, not things, but relationships and circumstances and what it is that you would like in your life. You're worthy and deserving, and all that is on your side and helping you to bring that to fruition. And the Saturn trine Mars, fabulous energy for something that we build that has a solid foundation that's not going anywhere. It's a slow build. It's a slow build. So we're not like jumping out the gate to get this done. But it will be something that is best for us and for all that is. Flowing, you know, grace and ease with the flowing. So I'm using actually the chart for the equinox because they're so similar. They both have an ascendant in Gemini and they're just a week apart. So, you know, Mercury has moved by then. So everybody will stop knowing everything pretty soon. Mercury's just got, he's going to still be in Aquarius where he's a know-it-all. My mother is extremely intelligent. I don't remember her IQ, but she graduated summa cum laude and she's got Mercury in Aquarius. It's genius. She can beat anybody at Jeopardy. Yeah, if there's ever anything I need to know before Google, just call Mom. But he's gonna finish up in Aquarius about the 16th, 17th. He'll move into Pisces. And that's where, you know, just really what Gabriel was showing me too, revelations, and he's saying like much sought after answers, like maybe answers that we've been looking for a long time. and just, you know, expect to have signs and manifestations of answers from your soul, however you get that. Really pay attention to songs that come into your mind. A lot of times the soul will use songs. You know, if you can gather with the tribe, that's a great idea for this energy too, if you're in a place where you're allowed to do that. But I want to just point out that on the ascendant of the equinox chart is the asteroid Chaos, and squaring that is the asteroid Child. And chaos in our charts, in everyone's chart individually, is what you're working on, what pattern you have that you came in with, obviously, that you are, you know, we have to keep going over it. It's something that takes us a long time. So again, just like with Nessus, you know, it's something that Gabriel is saying reforming, something that we're reforming. And in the United States natal chart, chaos is with Gabriel and Neptune in the 9th, because we use the gospel to bring people over as slaves, right? Southern Baptist Convention, a lot of churches did that. And we as a country still are dealing with the choice to keep slavery alive and well after we'd gotten rid of the British who brought them over. But so it's something like that, something that we are contending with. But look, it's here for healing. The sun crossing into Aries and meeting with the asteroid Child, I think is nice. You know, like childlike wonder and adventure, a sense of belonging, he's saying, where we come to that feeling of harmonious belonging in the heart space. And Eckhart Tolle jumped in. And he said that for this energy, for the new moon, presence. Being present in the moment and our own presence. What does our vibration feel like when everybody else is disentangled from it? And so just sitting and enjoying being in the presence of the Creator, really feeling, though. I keep pushing that feeling. But yeah, Eckhart Tolle jumped in and said that, so I was like, okay, I can write that down. Yeah, I want to read the song that Gabriel chose for you. And I brought my glasses, but I think I'm good. Okay, so, you know, just adjust the words as necessary. This is Rise by Katy Perry, and then we're going to talk about Meghan and Harry. If you don't want to hear that, you could, I wanted to talk about their astrology a little bit, and I don't want to devote a video to the royals, unless you guys would be interested, and then I'm up for it. Okay, here we go. This is Rise by Katy Perry. I won't just survive. Oh, you will see me thrive. Can't write my story. I'm beyond the archetype. I won't just conform, no matter how you shake my core, 'cause my roots run deep. Oh, ye of so little faith, don't doubt it, don't doubt it. Victory is in my veins. I know it, I know it. And I will not negotiate. I'll fight it. I will transform. When the fire's at my feet again and the vultures all start circling, they're whispering, you're out of time, but still I rise. There is no mistake, no accident. When you think the final nail is in, think again. Don't be surprised. I will still rise. I must stay conscious through the madness and chaos. So I call on my angels and they say, oh, ye of little faith, don't doubt it, don't doubt it. Victory is in your veins. You know it, and you will not negotiate. Just fight it and be transformed. Because when the fire's at my feet again and the vultures all start circling, they're whispering, you're out of time, but still I rise. There is no mistake and no accident. When you think the final nail is in, think again. Don't be surprised. I will still rise. So, you know, we know because of the Sabian symbol we had for that Virgo full moon, And then, you know, looking at chaos, and even with, you know, I mean, we're still in it, right? We're still in it. We're still waiting for, we've got this period where until 2023, Pluto finishing up in Capricorn. That's serious stuff, you know, just because Saturn left there and that conjunction's done, Pluto's not done with Capricorn. And that will be wrapping up something that began for you in 2008. So changes, and again, taking the power back where we've allowed power to slip into the hands of another, or a habit, an energy of anything. Sugar, cigarettes, da-da-da-da-da. So I didn't bring their charts with me. I just want to say, and I really have bit my tongue really hard for a long time. For a long time, though, I've been wanting to say, the angels don't say nasty things about people. So when someone gives a reading and says that this person's after money, that's what they think, and they probably need to look at what that's about. Megan has a Virgo Venus. She was never after anybody's money. She's always, their charts together show that they're going to do a lot of charity work. I speak to Diana, not so often, but you know, I was one of those girls that got up at 3:30 in the morning in the United States to watch her get married. And thanks to Diana, you know, we really didn't give anything about the royal family, and most people here still don't. But you know, she made them popular. They owed her so much, and it's exactly the same thing happening again. But when she, you know, when all of this went down, she never. What did you say yesterday to me, Diana? She is unconcerned. She is proud and relieved and happy. And she's saying, oh yeah, and she's reminding me, just as Rich was teasing me about this, that they can see what's coming. Rich wanted to be like, haha, I know more than you. Because that's how we used to interact. But yeah, she's saying that she sees it all play out, and she's pleased. Couldn't be more pleased, more happy, and the dust is settling, and it's good. It's all good. She's back, by the way. And this is the thing, you know, her consciousness, Diana's consciousness is still here, but that last child that William and Kate had, that was Diana. As soon as I looked at the natal chart, I was like, and as soon as I realized, like, that's who it was, there she was. So talking to me about it. So that child has some surprises coming too. You know, at some point, William's gonna have to learn not to just go along to get along. And really, I feel for that guy, because it's harder for him. And, you know, I really felt too, and this is in the charts, that Harry really did not recognize his father, I don't think, until all of this. And you can see on his face that he's still shell-shocked. But, you know, Diana was, you know, saying yesterday how proud she is of the caretaker, that he's become, the man that he's become. And yeah, she's talking about the new template for the masculine, being masculine and being a caretaker, just like Rich was with Stacy. And that's the archetype that they're morphing into, right? As women become more independent and, you know, financially, as these next generations come in, yeah, huge changes coming by. That full moon, that new moon too, though, is awesome for the divine feminine with Venus in there. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, just keeping water in mind for those of you who do grid work, who work with the angelics and the elders of the planet. Really, you know, as much work that as you can devote to water, doing work on water. And yeah, thinking about the infinite possibilities and the partners that we're going to meet along the way to help us to bring our dream into fruition. Okay guys, so I hope you liked this, and I hope you could hear me okay. There was a little, I'm sure you guys are listening to the family that showed up while I was doing the video, but I really wanted to be by the waterfalls, and they were so loud that I had to find a new place to sit. So Anyway, guys, love you guys so much. You know, you come into my mind. I want you to know that all the time. I always can feel your energy. I'm sending you so much love. And if you do go into that place of, you know, let yourself have an emotional release and then let it go, right? It happens. And we're in that energy, man. It's going to be like... So anyway, but yeah, I love the astrology. Really great, productive, and transformative, abundant, and prosperous energy with this new moon. Good stuff. Good new shift that we're coming into with the equinox energies. Looks like a great gateway. He was calling it trial and error. So we shall see. But I mean, there's success in that, right? Even if we make a mistake, there's still something learned. So it's a success. All right, guys, take care. And I will talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.